Okay guys, welcome back. Got Dragon Works here and finishing up on this 2017 Harley Streetglide, putting on these 12-inch apes. And right now I've got everything just temporarily set here. I've got to do some final adjustments. I got to get a little more slack out of the cables, and I'm also going to have to loosen these up and turn them down a little bit. I already rerouted the wires and everything so I could get enough slack to even get them, the controls back on the bars. The brake wasn't too bad, that had slack, but the clutch is the one you got to really work that thing up through there. They really have it zigzagged and fastened all through there, so that was tough. The worst part of this whole thing is running all the new wires through the bars, and I'm glad these are fatter bars because what happens is right here where they bend, if you can notice there, it kind of squeezes down. And this side's not bad because it's only one wire, but it has a big connector on the end. But I was able to get that through not too bad. This side, on the other hand, took quite a while and many tries because you have to put two big wires through here at once with connectors and extensions and all that. And this turns bad enough, but when you zigzag this one, then you come down here and there's another real tight turn here where it narrows down, and that's almost impossible. And then you go a short distance and you got to pull it out through a hole. So it gets, there's a whole bunch of spots where it can jam up, but that was probably the worst of it. Took a little longer than I was hoping. Most of the bikes and most of the instructions you see will have this throttle control, and the wire comes down and there's a big connector on the end, and you take that connector off and then you just have the wires to fish through. This one was different, and the connector is like this here, and it doesn't come apart, and you actually have to put it's four of them all together at one time trying to go through those bars. So I ended up soaping them up so it would slide, and inside the bars are a little gritty, so it took a while. It was a little tough, but I did, like I say, I took my time, made sure that everything was done correctly and nothing was damaged. So you just have to be patient and take a while. But that was probably the worst part so far of the whole thing, is getting the wires through the bars. And then, of course, trying to get enough slack out of the hydraulic cables to run them without any interference or anything. So, again, like I say, right now everything's just temporarily on here. This fairing is still setting at an angle. I'll have to unfasten it once I get everything done, lift it back up, and set it back down like it's supposed to be. So this is going to come way forward up into those bars right there. But all in all, very nice installation so far. Everything's going really smooth. I know I said in the last video about the extensions, and I was correct. The throttle control wire is plenty long. So in your kit, you don't even get an extension for that. The extensions are just for the controls like the turn signal and start button and all that. And then again, that is what this connector is. And then there's another one back up under here, right here. And they barely give you enough. I think it said they were 8-inch, but it's really tight, to get it in there. That's all the slack. That little bit right there is it. So if anybody else is doing this, I'll just show you. These are the ones. It says 8-inch extensions. They were barely 8, but if they have any longer ones, might be a good idea. But they did work, and it looks like it'll work fine with no interference. It's just hard to get, for the installer to get the wires routed correctly, get enough slack out of there to plug them in. You can most definitely not do this job without the extensions. So people say you can, and I found out you cannot. So you definitely had to have the extensions. There's no way around it. The wires do just barely come to the end of the bars without the extension. And that's if you unravel it from the inside and give it a little extra slack. So you have to put the extensions on in order to get your wires down through the bars. So yeah, definitely have to have them. But anyway, once again, I enjoy working on these Harleys. Nice to have a Harley in the shop here. And it takes me back to, like I say, back when I first started, that's all I did. But things have really changed. Like I say, man, drive-by-wire now on these bikes, and a lot of new technology in them. So anyway, it's an awesome bike. It turned out to be a really nice job. And I will be buttoning this thing up, and I'll do another video when I get her all put together, and you guys can see what she looks like and make sure everything's working properly. All right, guys. Dragon says peace out and stay tuned.